Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you in your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Hierophant card. Now for all of its other meanings, I actually feel like, Aquarius, this is going to be a week where your faith is tested. This is going to be a time where you are going to need to rely on something other than yourself, something other than what you know, than the day-to-day stuff. Now, that's not to say that some awful event is going to befall you. I just feel, because the Hierophant card, yes, it's got all of its other meanings, but it is really, at the depth level, it's about the rituals that we apply through our faith. All right, so I don't really want to go through all of it, but basically this week you're going to have to rely on some bigger energy, some higher power, whatever you call it. So this is a week where in some way, shape or form, your faith is likely to be tested. There is going to be some sort of resistance that shows up for you. And as such, this is about you tapping into something that is bigger than you are. And I actually think this could be really beneficial for you. I think if you have a spiritual practice, drill down into that. If you don't have one, maybe this is the week to find one, to begin one, to start one. That is what's going to get a lot of people through 2022 and 2023. And on that front, if you have seen the trailer for your 2022 video, yeah, I just wanted to say, I've been doing these for about 4 or 5 years now. I absolutely love doing them. Every year they get bigger, they get longer. I've put my heart and soul into these. Each one of them is like a minimum of 90 minutes. And for that reason, I have decided to charge this year. I'm really sorry for those of you that are disappointed by that. They are very accessible in terms of pricing. You can get one for $4.99. You can get 3 for $12.97, which is your sun, moon and ascendant if you want to buy those. And you can get your the entire bundle of 12 for $24.99. So if you want to get those, and if you do support my work in that way, it really does mean the absolute world to me. I thank you so much. I really hope that 2022 is the best year for you, and I really hope that they serve you well. For those of you that don't purchase them and are just here to be part of Reydiant Reality, I love you all the same. All right, with that said, let's get into it. For your, so I've already done that, for your actions and options this week, you've got the Judgment card. So the Judgment card and the Hierophant together, right? So this is, I mean, in this deck, it's actually called Harvest. And the funny thing is, when I saw that Hierophant card come out, but you know, as I put it up on the board before I started the video, the word that came into my mind was this week there's going to be a reckoning. And I really get this feeling that that is going to be the case for a lot of Aquarius people. Whether you're a sun, moon or ascendant Aquarius, in some way, shape or form this week there is going to be a grand rebalancing of the scales. And in a lot of ways, I actually think this can be very beneficial for us in the long term or in the long run. The fact that we've got the Judgment card here in the actions and options means that you yourself are going to be answering a very visceral call, something that comes from deep within, something that calls you or spurs you into action. This could be a blast from the past. For some of you, this could be a revelation of some sort, some piece of information that finds your ears. At this point, I gotta be really honest with you. Over the last 3 weeks, I've had more revelations than I care to fucking count, and I'm really done with them. But you know what? So be it. If this is, I mean, it's Scorpio season, so this is the time of grand reveals for everybody. And if that is the case, then so be it. But just know that this week, your faith, your spirituality is going to get you through. And more importantly, like I said, there is going to be a reckoning of some sort. But that reckoning is going to really, it's going to, you know, it's one of those moments where you get so, and it just, and you're like, you just explode. It could be one of those, so try to manage that. For your communications and conversations, you have the 3 of Pentacles. This comes underneath the Hierophant card. So there's a few ways that this could show up. For some of you, this week you could be deciding to go back to school. For some of you, you could be picking up some form of training this week. Definitely possible. For some of you, maybe you are contacted in order to teach or mentor or coach in some way, shape or form. And with the Three of Pentacles being the card of communications, this is really about... I almost want to say that this is about being determined in seeing something through, right? So that sort of rah energy that you're going to be feeling this week, you have a chance to channel it or to focus it. With this though, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, I would give yourself some time to consider whatever is presented to you this week. So if somebody comes to you, maybe your boss comes to you and says, we want you to study this, or we want you to learn this, or we're going to be giving you this new responsibility. Think about the long term and the long run, and whether what you're being offered actually feeds into where you truly envision yourself to be going. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, something about your work and learning. So this is if you offer courses of some sort, maybe this week you have a new course idea. If you are, if you do something similar to what I do, maybe you are offered a collaboration of some sort. Maybe you are, and it's likely to be from a bigger entity, because the Hierophant card is usually, so this could be an invite for a collaboration, for some sort of study, for some sort of teaching. And the reason I say this is because the Hierophant, as it shows up in the world, for us, it usually represents things or entities that are bigger than us, institutions, establishments, dynasties in some way, shape or form. And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working, this week you could be deciding or settling on something that you are ready to study. And it's like, you know what, this is what I'm going to dedicate my time to. This is what I'm going to dedicate my learning to from here on in. There's a sense here that it's almost like a consolidation of your knowledge, and it's like this is the final step, this is the last path that you have to travel in order to get to that place where you consider yourself as a master, not having anybody else tell you that you're one, but you're considering this for yourself. For your love and relations, you have the Queen of Pentacles, right? So very interesting. A Taurus person, likely a Taurus woman, may feature for you in some way, shape or form this week. And this could be somebody from your past, somebody that you have connected with previously. It could be, and your love and relations, yes, for the most part, I talk about partnerships and relationships, intimate connections, but your relations can also be familial ties as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, in terms of boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., or boyfriend and girlfriend. So yeah, now for those of you that are single this week, I believe that there will be somebody coming back into your life from your past. This could be somebody that you've worked with. It could be somebody that you've studied with previously. It could be somebody that you have dated before, right? And this person's coming back into your life, and it's likely that they're going to be an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn or a Virgo. The reason I say that is because you've got the Hierophant as the key to the week. And then when it comes to those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments or relationships, there's something about the budget or the finances or the money this week that you guys are having to look over. You're having to really think about, do we have the money for this? Do we have the money to make this work? What is the time frame that it's going to take us in order to make this work? There is something about time coming up here as well. I'm going to be really honest with you, and the truth of the matter is this is the same for all of us. It doesn't matter your sign, it doesn't matter your age, right? Time is the one resource that nobody is making any more of, right? No matter what wealth you've got, what status, who you are in the world, time is the one resource that we are not making any more of, and so it's very precious. This week, for those of you that are partnered or married or in long-term commitments, you are going to have to look at how much time you have to spend with your family versus how much time you have to get shit done, right? And sometimes it's the same for me, right? As with everything that I do, there are things that I would love to do, and there are things that I sacrifice doing because at the moment I've got other goals that need my time and my effort and my energy. And sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices. If you're going to whinge about it every 5 minutes, then you're never really going to get to where it is that you need to be. This is one of those weeks where if you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, something's going to have to give, and it may be that you have to spend some time away from your family in order to make other things happen. You're not going to be the first, you're not going to be the last. For your money and materials, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Love! I love this, all right? So this is a very earthy week, right? Very earthy week. We've got the Hierophant, Earth. Three of Pentacles, Earth. Queen of Pentacles, Earth. Ace of Pentacles, Earth. And then you've got this tiny little sliver here of, I would say, more spiritual energy than anything else. This is where spirit and matter combine this week, I would say. So when it comes to your finances, this could be a week that kicks off a slow and steady growth period of money, finances and resources making their way to you. For some of you, this is going to be a week of interviews and meetings that lead to very prosperous paths, certainly in the long run, which I really like for you. When it comes to your home and environment, for some of you, this could literally be maybe you're purchasing a home, maybe you find the home that you want to buy, maybe you find the area that you want to buy or move to. I like this. I don't know. For me, I think this is really nice. I almost get the feeling here as well that this is, for some of you, maybe you're deciding, okay, you know what, a year from now, I'm going to move and this is where I'm moving to. There's a really strong sense of change here when it comes to the home. And then finally, when it comes to the physical health and vitality, this and the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, actually, I think are probably my favorite aces for health. Just because this ace, it basically says you've got the strength, the grit and the determination to do whatever you need to do. So while this might be a very busy week, you've got the strength and the energy to get through it. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care and I'll see you soon.